Hi everyone! Good day! So today we will be reporting the Module 12, which is Comparative Analysis of Social System, under our subject Introduction to Philosophy. So first, let's talk about what social system is. So, social system is basically a group of people interacting with each other to reach the certain purpose or goal. So, for example, in our school, we have students, teachers, and classmates working together to learn and achieve the goal or finish the school year together. So that example is a form of a social system. So according to Talcott Parsons, an American sociologist, there are four main factors that make up a social system. First, a social system is made up of two or more individuals. Dili jud pwede usara ka tawo, kaya importante ana niya is ang interaction. And then the second one is, the interaction is guided by shared symbols, meaning people understand each other through language, gestures, or actions. And then the third is, the interaction is goal-directed. Na jud tay purpose like cooperation, teamwork, or success. And fourth one is, our relationship are guided by shared norms or values. Mo na ang reason why people can live together and work peacefully. So, social system can be found everywhere. Summarize it all, so mo na siya ang kuan. Ang social system shows how human connect, communicate, and cooperate with one another. And through this system, societies can transform individuals into responsible and active members of the community.
A social system theory is a theoretical scheme that articulates or describes a field of system in relation to another that is equally a part of the same broader fundamental system. So today we're talking about social system theory. Think of it as a way to understand how societies, organization, or even group work by looking at how all the different parts connect and affect each other. According to the Parsons, social system analysis must involve three logically independent but also interdependent bases or axes of variability. A sociologist named Talcott Parsons had some key ideas about this. He believed that to really understand a social system, we need to consider a few main things. These bases are the following. First, a distinction between the structural and the functional. Second, a distinction between the two dynamic process of maintaining system equilibrium and structural change in the system. So third, the hierarchy, the relation of control of hierarchy of control.
The structural modes focuses on the stable parts of the society, like the government, laws, institutions that serve as its foundation, while the functional mode explains how these parts work together to keep the society organized and balanced. There are two sets of exigencies or needs that society must respond to. Number one, those imposed by the relative constancy or giveness of a structure. These are needs that come from maintaining orders and harmony inside a society. Number two, those imposed by the giveness of the environment situation external to the system. These are needs that arise from the environment outside the society. Society must adjust to these external pressure to survive and grow. Together, these two sets of exigencies show how society must stay stable on the inside while also adapting to changes on the outside.
So,
Parsons distinguished two dynamic problems relevant to analysis of social system. The first set of dynamic problems can include just a process related to the assumption that the structural patterns of institutional culture are given. So, the concept of equilibrium is a fundamental reference point of analyzing the process by which a system either comes to terms with the exigencies imposed by the changing environment without essential change in its own structure or fails to come to terms and undergoes another process. So, the second set of dynamic problems can include niche sub-process that involves changes in the structure of the system itself. This involves problems of interchange with a cultural system. However, much of this may in turn depend upon the internal state of the social system and its relation to the other environmental system. So, those dynamic modes of analysis are concerned with the organizational and structural change that may happen within the system, involved in a structural differentiation. Since social change are inevitable, it will be very difficult to maintain the order and organization of the social system.
Good day, everyone. Today we're going to talk about something really interesting. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Marcel Apor. Today we're going to talk about the hierarchy of relations of control. Don't worry, it sounds a bit serious, bro. I'll explain it in a way that's super easy to understand. So basically, this topic talks about how control works in our lives and in society. Like how everything from our body to our personality to our society and even our culture all connects and controls one another. There are actually four main systems of control. First is the behavioral organism. This one's about our physical actions. Example, when we react to something like kung init, we sweat, that's part of our natural control system. Second is the personal system. This one talks about how we behave based on our emotion and motivation. Like, kung lipay ta, we act friendly, pero kung stressed ta, we might act quiet. Next is the social system. Kani siya kay, this is all about how other people affect us. For example, kanang school rules, we follow it to respect our teacher, or we try to fit in with our group of friends. So, society also controls our behavior. And lastly, we have the cultural system, which controls the society itself through tradition, values, and beliefs. Para sa to, we respect elders and we celebrate festas. That's part of our cultural control system. There are two main ways this system of control operates. First, through the social environment. Every individual interacts with others like classmates, teachers, or parents who influence their action. For example, the school system rewards good performance and punishes misbehavior, so we learn to follow the rules. Our personality, in turn, is shaped by this social interaction. Second, through motivation and socialization. We just don't follow rules, we also internalize them. That means we observe society values like respect, honesty, or hard work, and they became part of who we are. This is what sociologists call socialization, learning the norms and values of society so that we can fit in and function properly.
Hi everyone, I'm Princess April Barado from grade 11 ABM, and I will discuss the last topic under the comparative analysis of social systems, which is the different forms of society. So there are four forms of society: the agrarian society, industrial society, educational society, and virtual and social network. The agrarian society is formed by people who organize themselves to cultivate the land and to produce food. These people are called farmers. They plant crops and raise animals so everyone can have food in their table. This society is all about agriculture or farming. Next is the industrial society. It is a social system whose mode of production focuses primarily on finished products that were made with the aid of machines. In other words, this society is formed by people who makes products with the use of machines rather than by hand. The third form of society is the educational society. Education is a process of receiving and giving systematic instruction, especially in a school or university. By this account, it reveals that education is also a form of society composed of people whose main role is to transfer or share knowledge, as well as the people who receives the knowledge. In simpler terms, educational society is one where people focus on teaching and learning. The last form of society is the virtual or social network. In the internet age, societies took a different turn as they formed virtual societies. This refers to enhanced telecommunication services and systems and computing technology that we use today. We use internet to talk, share, and learn from each other.